There is a soul somewhere in this world that carries a powerful and unforgettable love for you. Yet this person has consciously chosen to create distance, to remain away from you, even though a part of them still feels deeply connected. Before your mind begins searching for answers, before you start creating explanations for why they are silent or why they walked away, I want you to pause for a moment and breathe slowly. Allow yourself to become calm and present, because the message reaching you at this exact moment is not something ordinary. The timing, the feeling, and the emotions surrounding these words may feel like they are arriving from a deeper place, a place beyond simple coincidence. This moment carries a meaning that your heart may have been quietly waiting to understand. It is a reflection of the truth your inner feelings have been trying to reveal beneath all the uncertainty, confusion, and unanswered questions you have carried for so long. There is a reason you are hearing this now. There is a reason this message found you at this particular point in your journey. Nothing about a powerful emotional connection feels completely accidental. Sometimes life reveals its hidden messages only when we become quiet enough to recognize them, when we stop chasing answers outside ourselves and finally listen to what our inner world has been whispering. Deep within, your spirit already senses something that your logical mind struggles to accept. There is someone connected to your life story, perhaps someone who is still present in your world, or maybe someone who once stood very close to you, who carries feelings they have never truly been able to express. This person holds a level of attachment and devotion that they struggle to explain even to themselves. They experience emotions so intense that they do not always know how to manage them. They feel a longing that continues to return, no matter how much distance they create, or how hard they try to convince themselves that moving away is easier. Do not mistake their silence for a lack of feeling. Do not assume their distance means your presence no longer matters. Sometimes silence is not empty. Sometimes silence is where the strongest emotions are hidden. Behind their quiet behavior may exist feelings that are overwhelming, emotions they are afraid to reveal because showing their true heart would require them to become vulnerable. The stronger their connection with you becomes, the stronger their desire to retreat can become as well. It is almost as if loving you has become both the most beautiful experience they have ever known and the most difficult emotional challenge they have ever faced. Their heart recognizes the value of this bond, but their fears create resistance. They feel pulled toward you while another part of them tells them to protect themselves and stay away. This is something their heart understands even when their actions attempt to hide it. They continue to keep their distance because you reached a place inside them that very few people have ever touched. You connected with a part of their being that they had protected for years. You awakened emotions that were buried beneath old defenses, past disappointments, and layers of emotional protection they carefully built around themselves. You reminded them of feelings they thought they had forgotten. You brought awareness to parts of themselves they had ignored for a long time. Being around you made them feel seen in a way they were not prepared for. And sometimes being truly seen can feel more frightening than being alone. If you are experiencing a situation where someone seems to love you deeply but continues to pull away, take a moment and understand this possibility. As Carl Jung once explained, when two personalities truly meet, they create a powerful transformation within each other. When two people come into contact on a deep emotional level, neither person remains exactly the same afterward. And that is what happened between you and this person. Your presence changed something within them. You influenced their thoughts, their emotions, and the way they see themselves. You helped them discover parts of their personality that they had never allowed others to see. You reached beyond their external image and touched the hidden areas of their inner world. You were not simply another person who entered their life and passed by. You became a reflection, a mirror showing them both their deepest desires and their greatest fears. Through you, they saw the possibility of love, connection, and emotional safety. But they also saw their old wounds, their insecurities, and the fears they had avoided confronting. You reflected their dreams, but you also reflected the pain they had not healed. You showed them what they truly wanted, but you also reminded them of everything they were afraid of losing. That is why this connection feels so powerful. It is not only about attraction, It is about the way your presence forced them to face parts of themselves they had kept hidden. They have rarely, if ever, experienced emotions that feel this intense, this authentic, and this difficult to control. With you, their usual defenses became weaker. The walls they built around their heart started to disappear without them even realizing it was happening. Around you, they felt open, they felt understood, they felt like they could finally remove the mask they had been carrying. But vulnerability is not always comfortable for someone who has spent years protecting themselves. For them, opening their heart may feel dangerous because it means giving another person the ability to affect them deeply. You were not someone they planned for. You were not a person they expected would completely shift their emotional world. You entered their life unexpectedly and created changes they still struggle to explain. They never expected the connection they felt during conversations with you, the peace they experienced when you were nearby, or the strange emptiness they felt when you were gone. They did not expect your absence to affect them so strongly. They did not expect missing you to feel like losing something essential. They did not expect one person's presence to create such a powerful impact on their emotional state. This person is not staying away because they feel nothing. They are staying away because they feel too much, and the intensity of those emotions creates fear inside them. The emotional influence you have over them feels overwhelming because you have become someone whose words, thoughts, and presence carry more importance than they expected. You became the person who reflects a truth they are not completely ready to face yet. You represent a type of connection that requires honesty, emotional growth, and courage. And for someone who is still fighting their own inner battles, that level of openness can feel terrifying. If someone cares deeply but chooses distance because they are protecting their fragile sense of self, loving you may feel like standing at the edge of an unknown place. It feels like taking a step forward without knowing whether they will find safety or pain on the other side. So instead of taking that emotional risk, they remain still. They create separation. They convince themselves that distance is the safer choice. They stay trapped inside a place of self-protection, even though a part of them continues to desire the very connection they are running away from. Their distance may actually come from a quiet feeling of guilt. Deep inside, they may believe you deserve someone better than the person they currently feel they are. Someone more healed, more stable, more emotionally prepared. They look at their own imperfections and wonder if they are capable of giving you the love and security you deserve. They replay old conversations in their mind. They remember moments where they could have acted differently. They analyze their mistakes and worry that their unresolved pain could damage something beautiful. They fear bringing chaos into a connection that feels too valuable to lose. Inside their silence exists a voice telling them they are not ready yet. A voice telling them they need to become a better version of themselves before they can truly stand beside you. If you recognize this kind of silence, understand that sometimes distance is not always rejection. Sometimes it is a protective wall created by someone who believes they are not enough. A person can deeply care and still struggle to accept that they deserve the love they desire. They feel the connection between you in places where logic cannot fully explain it. Even when they distract themselves, even when they try to move forward, something about you remains present within their thoughts and emotions. No matter how far they go, you continue to exist inside their inner world. Temporary distractions lose their effect because they cannot replace the unique feeling they experienced with you. Other connections may appear, but something feels incomplete because their heart still remembers the meaning of what they shared with you. Even while their mind fears the vulnerability you represent, their heart continues to recognize the importance of this bond. Their silence carries many unspoken emotions, hidden truths, and feelings they have not yet found the courage to express. As Carl Jung suggested, what we resist often remains present within us. Their attempt to push away these emotions may have only made the connection stronger inside their unconscious mind. The more they try to ignore what they feel, the more they become aware that something meaningful exists. Their past disappointments may have taught them that closeness leads to pain. Their previous experiences may have convinced them that love comes with risk. That is why you can feel both precious and frightening to them at the same time. You represent something they deeply desire, but also something that challenges the emotional defenses they have carried for years. If you are ready to understand what is truly happening beneath this silence, know that their heart may be fighting a battle between fear and love. They are trying to discover whether they are strong enough to face their emotions instead of running from them. They are testing their own ability to stand alone, hoping to become strong enough to eventually stand beside you. Beneath the appearance of independence, beneath the quiet moments when no one is watching, they may carry the weight of everything they never said. And in the stillness of the night, when distractions disappear and the world becomes quiet, they may find themselves facing the emotions they tried so hard to avoid. They may feel the pressure of all the words left unspoken, all the feelings never expressed, and all the moments they wish they could return to. They can feel deep inside that even taking one small step toward you would transform their entire existence. It would create a powerful change within them, a personal evolution they still do not feel completely ready to face. Their distance is not because they do not care. It is a self-created separation, a temporary escape as they desperately try to quiet the emotional chaos inside them before standing in front of the deep calm and truth they feel in your presence. Type yes if you want to understand why they are keeping their distance, even though their feelings for you remain strong and genuine. They know that one moment of complete honesty could reveal everything they have been trying to hide. And once those emotions are finally spoken aloud, there will be no way to return to the comfort of pretending nothing exists. To love you means opening every part of themselves. It means offering their heart completely, and right now, that level of emotional surrender feels overwhelming to them. They are frightened of giving so much of their soul to another person. They hide behind the idea of waiting for the perfect moment, convincing themselves that someday they will feel stronger, someday life will become less complicated, and someday they will finally be ready. But deep within, they know healing does not arrive when everything becomes convenient. Healing begins when someone chooses to face what they have been avoiding. Even while they remain far away, they are constantly troubled by one question. Does your heart still have room for them, or have you finally decided to close that chapter forever? The hidden truth is that their return is already forming within them. They may not return when they feel completely flawless or fearless, but they will return when the pain of losing you becomes greater than the fear of revealing their true emotions. Although they may appear calm, unaffected, or perfectly fine to everyone around them, this separation is a quiet, emotional wound that becomes stronger whenever the distractions of daily life disappear. They do not miss you like an ordinary memory from the past. They miss you as the one place where their soul felt accepted, understood, and peaceful. They remember how everything seemed easier around you, how they could be more authentic, and how life carried a different kind of warmth when you were beside them. As Carl Jung explained, until the unconscious becomes conscious, it continues to influence a person's life as if it were destiny. Their hidden insecurities, old wounds, and fears of not being worthy have controlled their actions and pushed them away from you. Yet their deeper self continues to feel drawn toward the light and comfort they experience through your connection. This is a powerful moment of change in their journey. It is a turning point that demands the honesty they have spent so long avoiding. Subscribe and comment home if you are ready to welcome the version of them who finally chooses truth, courage, and love instead of fear. During the quiet hours of the night, when sleep feels impossible and they stare into the darkness, their mind returns to everything left unsaid. They think about apologies they never offered, conversations they avoided, feelings they buried, and moments they wish they could experience again. They imagine reaching out to you. They create scenarios in their mind where fear is no longer controlling them, where they can finally express everything they have been holding inside. They write messages that remain unfinished. They type their thoughts, read them again, and then delete them. They look at your name on their screen, hoping somehow they will find the courage they have been searching for. They rehearse conversations they are too afraid to begin. Every attempt leads back to the same painful questions. What if too much time has passed? What if you have already moved forward without them? What if the connection they once felt is no longer waiting for them? Even with all these doubts, they cannot stop believing that something between you still exists. They wonder if you still feel the invisible connection beneath the silence. They question whether your heart still recognizes theirs in the same way their heart continues to recognize yours. They wonder if during peaceful moments your spirit still remembers them and feels that same unexplained pull. There are moments when they become almost certain that you are thinking about them too. Times when your name suddenly appears in their mind without warning, as if something unseen has brought the thought forward. They are deeply afraid of losing you permanently. The strange part is that the distance they created was never meant to destroy the bond. It was their attempt to protect themselves, even though they were pushing away the very connection that could help them heal. Comment fear if you believe their silence is coming from fear rather than a lack of love. They are trapped inside a painful contradiction. They run away from the person they desire the most. They remain silent about the words their heart desperately wants to express. They deny themselves the very love that could transform their life because somewhere deep inside, they struggle to believe they truly deserve something so pure and meaningful. If they appear distant, cold, or emotionally unavailable, understand that this is only a shield they have created. It is a defense mechanism, a way they learned to survive. They discovered early in life that showing emotions could lead to disappointment. They learned that depending on someone could make them vulnerable, and they connected deep love with the possibility of future pain. Because of those beliefs, they built emotional walls around their heart. They made those walls strong and difficult for anyone to reach. Then you entered their life and slowly touched the parts of them they had protected for years. Without forcing anything, you reached places within them that nobody else could access. That is why they pull away. That is why they disappear. They are not escaping because they feel nothing. They are retreating because they feel too much. Sometimes they attempt to rebuild the barriers they created. They try to convince themselves that distance is easier, that silence is safer, and that ignoring their emotions will bring peace. But every attempt eventually fails because their heart continues choosing you. No matter how strongly their mind tries to take control, something deeper keeps bringing them back to the same truth. They keep waiting for the right moment. They tell themselves they need more time to become better, more time to heal old wounds, more time to grow into the person they want to become, and more time to learn how to love without fear. But they are slowly realizing that waiting has become their greatest obstacle. Every day they delay creates more emotional weight. Every moment of silence makes the distance feel heavier. Every attempt to pretend they are unaffected only increases the pressure of the truth they are avoiding. They imagine returning to you with confidence, honesty, and strength. They imagine standing in front of you without hesitation, knowing exactly what to say, and finally expressing everything their heart has carried. But life does not stop until someone becomes completely fearless. Love does not wait until every wound has disappeared. Sometimes the greatest acts of love require taking a step forward, even when uncertainty remains. They are beginning to understand that waiting for perfect conditions can cause people to lose the very things that matter most. They are standing between two forces. One part of them wants to move toward you, while another part is still held back by fear. They feel something greater than themselves quietly guiding them closer, while their doubts continue pulling them away. They are trying to silence the inner conflict long enough to hear the deeper truth inside their heart. They are facing a choice: continue hiding behind emotional protection, or finally surrender to a connection that refuses to disappear. They wonder if you have become stronger without them. They wonder if you have learned how to live peacefully without their presence. They wonder if you have stopped waiting, stopped searching, and finally moved forward. The thought of that possibility causes them a deep pain that they cannot easily overcome. They would rather remain quiet and continue blaming themselves than confront the painful reality that they may have waited for too long. But beneath all of their fear, hesitation, and uncertainty, one powerful truth continues to remain unchanged. They never truly stopped loving you. The distance between you is not there because their feelings became smaller. The distance exists because their love became so intense that they did not know how to handle the emotions that came with it. They are not gone from your life forever. They are gathering their inner strength. They are slowly rebuilding their courage. They are facing a private battle within themselves, a struggle between the fear that holds them back and the connection they feel they are meant to follow. They are beginning to understand that silence does not protect love. Instead, silence slowly creates more distance and makes it harder to hold on. There will come a moment, whether it arrives softly or suddenly, when something deep inside them finally breaks open and they can no longer continue staying away. A moment when their heart becomes stronger than their doubts. A moment when the pain of not choosing you becomes greater than the fear of taking the risk. And when that moment arrives, the separation will begin to end. They will return. Not with hesitation, not with uncertainty, and not with only a small part of themselves. They will come back with honesty, with openness, and with a willingness to finally be present. Because this connection is not finished. Your story is not complete. A love that reaches this deeply does not simply disappear. It transforms, matures, and grows stronger through every challenge it faces. While they may seem distant on the outside, something important is shifting within them. They are changing in ways you cannot see yet. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, there is movement taking place beneath the surface. The separation has forced them to confront themselves, and that is one of the most difficult battles a person can ever experience. Being away from you has become like a mirror placed directly in front of them, revealing everything they once tried to avoid. It has brought hidden emotions to the surface. It has exposed the truths they attempted to bury. It has removed the emotional walls they created over years to protect themselves. Now they are standing face to face with their own reality. There is no one else to blame. There are no more distractions to hide behind. There is no escape from the truth that being separated from you creates a pain unlike anything they expected. Because of this, instead of searching for answers outside themselves, they slowly began looking inward. At first, they resisted. They did not want to face those uncomfortable truths. But little by little, they started discovering who they truly are beneath the masks they created. They are beginning to realize that what they once considered strength, like ignoring emotions, shutting people out, avoiding vulnerability, and choosing loneliness, was not actually strength at all. It was simply a way of becoming disconnected from their own feelings.